What if the person who passed on was, say, a significant other, like in your case? Does keeping that connection prevent you from finding the next love of your life?
I don't believe that. No, not at all. Somebody said to me, "Would you be willing to love again?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm taking applications." But, absolutely, because you can't compare. One is, a spiritual relationship and the other is
Right,
an earthly relationship.
right. Although, on one hand, and this may sound kind of silly, but my dog, who I shared 14 years with, died in 2009. And it's only now that I'm feeling like I could get another dog without cheating on her.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're not going to go into what kind of relationship you had with the bitch. No.
She was my little girl. She was
She's
my
your doll.
precious
But
little
the
girl.
thing is, you you know when you're ready to form another earthly relationship with an
Right.
animal or a partner. But the thing is, even so, nobody would ever say to you, you're going to stop loving your dog or
Right.
stop feeling a connection, even though you're going to have another dog. But it'll
Right.
be a different relationship. You'll have your spirit doggy and then you'll have your earth doggy. You can't throw the ball for your spirit doggy, but
Well, you can, it just won't come back.
it just might.
That's
Wait
true.
a minute. I mean, I've seen some crazy things on my end. Wait till you read Love Never Dies. Things moving. I mean, I just one day it was Valentine's Day, and I come downstairs and I say to him, "So how are you going to celebrate Valentine's Day?" And he says, in his typical impish fashion, "You'll see, Jamie." Huh? I'll see. Next thing I know, I look out my window and there are 14 red cardinals, like, a bouquet of roses.
Oh my
And the
goodness.
next thing he says to me, because this is the thought induction, how they will dialogue with us by popping thoughts in our mind. He says, "Go to the addition and I'll show you something." So I go to the addition, and what do I see? Is this it's a bird. I don't know what it is. I had to run and look it up. He's clinging to the back door, and all I could see is this red heart-shaped patch on his breast.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
look it up, and it's a Mongolian plover from a place so far away they never appear, in this part of the
Wow.
country where I live, and certainly never in the winter anyway, February. And it was just his little Valentine's gift for
Oh
me.
my goodness. Poor
So
birds, though.
Mongolian plover with a little heart shape. But I mean, on a daily basis, these things happen. So
Yeah,
we need to open ourselves to the reality. See, here's another really amazing thing. I'm so passionate about this
I
because
can
I want
tell.
everybody to know. So on the first night that I got back from Italy, I'm lying in the bed and I suddenly hear Jean talking to me and he's quoting a passage to me, right? I'm thinking, what is this? The next day I go meet his priest and I say to the priest, my husband is speaking to me. So the priest does one of these, with the eyebrow.
Yeah.
And then I tell him what I heard, and the priest goes white and he says, "Dear Lord," he crosses himself. "At first I didn't believe you, but I do now." He said, "You are quoting an obscure biblical passage from the Communion of Saints." I'm like thinking, like, I know, I never read the Bible. I told you I was raised by two atheists. Jean, I never discussed religion. It took me a year to understand why this, incredible religious scholar, husband of mine chooses to make me familiar with that passage. And I realized why. The Communion of Saints says, it took me a year to figure this out. The Communion of Saints says our loved ones in spirit are one with or in communion with God and the saints. And since we're supposed to stay in communion with and communication with God and the saints, we're supposed to stay in communion and communication with our loved ones because they're one with God and the saints. So he was giving
Wow.
me the entire foundation right here for the new grief therapy method that I would develop. We're supposed to. We're just
Wow.
supposed to.